Time to check in with CoinDesk Global Policy and Regulation Managing Editor Nick Day, who is also the editor of CoinDesk's The State of Crypto newsletter. Hey there, Nick. So Strike, which is led by CEO Jack Mallers and known for helping El Salvador adopt Bitcoin, just dropped some big news. They're offering Bitcoin for purchase across the United States for near zero fees, competing with incumbents Coinbase and PayPal, Square's Cash App, which offer a lot higher fees. So the question, though, has come up is whether or not they're allowed to sell Bitcoin across the country. My understanding is the regulations are unclear, and so businesses have to come up with workarounds.
Yeah, so my understanding is Strike currently has a money transmitter's license in the state of Washington. I guess stepping back, though, in order to conduct operations in the U.S., an exchange or crypto transfer platform requires a registration with FinCEN, and that's just a registration. It just says, hey, we're here, we plan to do this, and we're operating in these states. And then it also needs individual money transmission licenses from each of the states it plans to operate in, except for, I think, Montana is the lone exception. So right now, Strike has a transmission license in the state of Washington, but Strike also works with Prime Trust as its custodian. And I spoke to Prime Trust founder Scott Purcell earlier this week, and my understanding is that Prime Trust is actually handling a lot of the back-end stuff. So even though Strike is offering the service, Prime Trust has the regulatory approvals necessary, either through agreements between the state it's registered in, Nevada, and other states, or through branches in these other states, that it can handle the actual transaction and allow customers to buy and sell Bitcoin without Strike itself having to necessarily apply for each of these different transmission licenses.
Nick, just stepping back for a second, how big a deal is this? Like, other than the kind of fun rivalry with Coinbase, how big a deal is this really for the industry?
I mean, it's another on-ramp for people who might be interested in getting into Bitcoin, but are either daunted by the idea of big fees, or for whatever reason just unable to transact through the existing platforms. I think the real advantage Strike has here is that, at least so far, claiming it has, I think, zero fees apart from any existing market fees that aren't imposed by the company itself. So folks who are looking to buy into Bitcoin, quote unquote, cheaply, might be looking at Strike's offering as a more advantageous version or product than the likes of Coinbase or Kraken or other exchanges that do charge fees right now.
Cool.
But they ultimately pay for it ways. Do they have the marketing power to do it though? Do they have the cash to take on a Coinbase?
So I'm not really sure on that. I don't think Strike has announced or shared who its market makers are, or what other companies it's working with. A lot of that will probably depend on who its partners are and what their operations and what their backing looks like.